Magic the Gathering Arena is a great introduction to one of the best card games out there, but it's run by a company that seems to want nothing more than to ruin whatever goodwill it has left in the favour of more profit. I'm Holden, and I think you should keep an eye on it. FTL is the one roguelike game I ever find myself coming back to, and yet in the 12 years since its release I'm still yet to beat it. I'm Holden, and I think you should buy it. Enter the Gungeon kicked off a wave of similar twin-stick shooter roguelikes that we're still seeing today, and yet I just can't bring myself to play it for more than a room or two at a time. I'm Holden, and I think you should keep an eye on it. No Man's Sky isn't for me, and on release wasn't exactly for anyone, but at this point it'd be ridiculous to deny the massive leaps it's taken into possibly being the pinnacle of the survival genre. I'm Holden, and I think you should keep an eye on it. Dead Cells is a roguelike Metroidvania, which sounds like it'd be right up my alley, but despite how good it is, I've never managed to get past the clock tower. I'm Holden, and I think you should keep an eye on it. Absolute Drift is a great game to relax with, so long as you don't get too invested in perfectly hitting the apex of every drift like I did. I'm Holden, and I think you should keep an eye on it. Everspace has some of the best feeling spaceship controls of any game, and while I'm not a huge fan of roguelike progression, it's just endlessly fun to fly around, though I do wish it didn't have a time limit. I'm Holden, and I think you should keep an eye on it. A Hat in Time is a collectathon platformer in the ilk of Banjo-Kazooie, whose hat-themed antics arguably give Super Mario Odyssey a run for its money. I'm Holden, and I think you should keep an eye on it. Prey is an immersive sim which failed to immerse me, leaving me on the outside looking in on a game others have called one of the best of its generation. I'm Holden, and I think you should keep an eye on it. Salt and Sanctuary is a 2D Souls-like which never quite grabbed me, always erring a little too far on the side of frustration rather than difficulty. I'm Holden, and I think you should keep an eye on it. Dying Light felt like I was trying to push a shopping cart through a graveyard, never quite going the direction I actually wanted and constantly surrounded by dead people. I'm Holden, and I don't think you should buy it. Deltarune is a parallel take on the story of Undertale, and if you liked that you'll probably enjoy this too, though I can't say I hold much interest in either outside of the music. I'm Holden, and I think you should keep an eye on it. Darksiders 2 isn't a bad game, but it did make a lot of changes to the original's formula, and none of which I particularly enjoyed. I'm Holden, and I think you should keep an eye on it. Fallout 4 is the second Bethesda Fallout game, and manages to be decidedly fine, with interesting stories and quests surrounded by bland characters and base building. I'm Holden, and I think you should keep an eye on it. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is the biggest Smash Bros. Game to date, with an immense cast of characters, but my favourite will always be Melee. I'm Holden, and I think you should keep an eye on it. LEGO The Hobbit is truly one of the most boring experiences I've had, turning a decent movie into a subpar game. I'm Holden, and I don't think you should buy it.